Everyone, Weston Nakamura from Real Vision in Tokyo. It is Monday, November 8th, shortly after Asia equity close, and I want to flag something regarding Bitcoin and market price behavior and price action. Tokyo Stock Exchange ticker code 8698. Monex Group is the company name, Monex. Monex Group 8698. Those of you on the Real Vision Exchange are likely very familiar with what Monex is and its relationship to Bitcoin. For those of you who are not, I will explain very briefly what the kind of backstory is and what's going on with it now. However, before I do that, I want to just also make it explicitly clear to people who are unfamiliar. And again, this is basically anybody who wouldn't have been in the Real Vision Exchange, you wouldn't really know about this. And I say this completely objectively, okay? I'm saying this, I'm telling you why I care and why I'm watching this and why you should as well. In mid-May, when crypto crashed, we, the Real Vision Exchange, we were well ahead of that. The reason is because I had explicitly called for there will be a crypto-wide crash on May 18th or 24 to 48 hours within May 18th. Now, there are people who make market calls directionally, but then they don't attach a specific time frame. There are people that will make a sort of time frame call, but not really a direction. So they'll say, like, you'll get volatility in the near term. But, like, they don't know if it's upside or downside or whatever. Nobody really actually makes those. This is going to happen directionally because of this reason, and it's going to happen on this specific date. So I did that. How did I do that? I did that with the help of a lot of people from the contributors from the Real Vision Exchange, because this is like an ongoing discussion with the broader hive mind. But how did I arrive at this sort of thesis in the first place? It was largely because of Monex Group. Okay? So before I get into it, I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. And by the way, if you're a Real Vision member, you just need to activate your account. It takes like 3 seconds or less just to go on. Just go to the Real Vision Exchange tab and you'll already be in there. But these are posts that I had made. This is from April 26th, when I had first started to discuss the relationship between Monex and Bitcoin, and that was inspired via GBTC. This is GBTC's very infamous, NAV premium discount. This on top that I threw on top of it is GBTC Monex ratio. And what this shows is that Monex Group had stolen away all of the Proxy premium out of this ridiculous premium that was building up in GBTC. And why was that happening? Because Monex is a stock that trades on legacy systems and has like clearing and settling and perfectly compliant methods of transaction. And so anybody who on the institutional side who is forbidden from getting Bitcoin exposure, by Bitcoin exposure I don't mean Bitcoin itself, I mean Bitcoin-like returns, an instrument with Bitcoin-like returns that runs on the regular sort of rails of traditional finance. This is how they were able to do this, through Monex Group. After watching Monex Group for a long time and looking at it like intraday and all that kind of thing, it really was not only moving tick for tick, but there would be moments where Monex Group was indeed no longer the proxy, but it was the driver of Bitcoin. Sounds ridiculous. I went through this whole entire argument about how it sounds ridiculous at the time, and I'm not going to redo that. You can feel free to reread it on the exchange. You can start with this piece, but there are many, many more that follow. Okay. So, starting April 24th, I started to flag drops that are going to be happening. And I was able to do that because I'm looking at Monex versus Bitcoin on a percent for percent, tick for tick basis. I'm looking at where essentially people who wanted the Bitcoin-like exposure to the upside were starting to, dump their positions. And if indeed Monex was having an impact on Bitcoin itself and not the other way around, certainly is, potential trouble there. Basically on a daily basis I was posting like updates on this. Then I did this. This is dated May 11th. Crypto winter is coming. Now, notice I said crypto winter and not a crypto crash, because crypto has been known to have V-shaped crashes and you would want to buy that bottom. A winter is when it goes down and stays down. And again, this is very much thanks to Monex Group that helped me, that guided me for this. Now, the actual crash itself, the trigger for my specific date, May 18th, 2021, is a totally different catalyst. That's related to coinexchange.io, which is a catalyst that nobody had been discussing at all. But coinexchange.io, May 18th, and I said basically 24 to 48 hours within May 18th. And May 19th, by the way, was when everything really just fell off a cliff. May 16th, BTC is teetering on the brink. So the reason I'm showing you all this is just a sample of what, like, I was posting multiple things a day. This was not some sort of random thing. This is a long recurring analysis that I had kept a very, very close eye on. I had a methodology, and I had specific indicators like Monex Group essentially helped me identify this. And many of us on the Real Vision Exchange not only did not have to suffer any downside, but we got to play the downside. So, this is why I am watching Monex Group, and this is why you should care. So, anyone who is on the Real Vision Exchange, or anyone who's a Real Vision member, you have access to all of that, and go and take a look. Look at the discussions underneath, because they build on top of it. There's a ton of questions, a ton of great questions. This is all like my own sort of learning process as I'm going through it as well. But at the end of the day, called for May 18th, there will be a crypto winter that begins. Nobody made that specific call. Down to the date, and obviously the direction, and whether it's going to be a bounce or it's going to, be a winter. Was I lucky? Every single trade that goes right has many elements of luck to it. So of course I was. Was I right for the right reasons? Yeah, I was. So look, I'm not like showing this to brag about anything. I am showing this so that you understand the kind of history about this specific indicator or this specific tool that I've used effectively, but it's relevant to have that context. And if you want to still put it like a 0% like weighting of importance to it, that's totally fine. But as long as you have that context, that's what's important. Okay, so Monex Group has not been in the picture for some time, because when you're a proxy, you're only really a proxy to the upside, right? Because it's like a proxy is used because you can't get direct exposure to what it is that you want to own, but so you want something similar to it. But if that's not performing the way that you want it, such that you want a proxy for it, you no longer want a proxy for it. So when the Bitcoin crash happened, or the crypto crash happened, that relationship between Bitcoin and Monex Group just kind of dissipated. It didn't disappear really, because Monex Group does have a fundamental tie with Bitcoin. Like, it's not like MicroStrategy where they actually own Bitcoin, but they have a huge Bitcoin business or a crypto business that's just growing like 500%, 600%, 700% year over year. They just released earnings like a few days ago, and again, it's like up like whatever multiples it is, 600% or 700% like year over year in terms of revenue and the percentage of their earnings coming from the crypto segment and all that. Okay, so what's going on now? Here's what's going on now. This is a chart of Monex. That's what 8698 is. Monex Group. This is Bitcoin. And as you can see, yeah, clearly a proxy on the way up. and kind of lost that on the way down. So, Monex has gapped up for the last 2 days. It is up 40% in the last 2 days on some serious volume. Speaking of volume, by the way, this is another way you could tell that Monex Group is indeed a Bitcoin proxy, because look at the average trading volume. This is not a big stock. This is like a $2 billion market cap company. During the sort of initial run up, this bull cycle, on many days, Monex Group would be the most heavily traded stock in Japan in terms of notional turnover value, in terms of dollar amount or yen amount value traded, not share quantity traded. That's totally irrelevant. The actual dollar amount of turnover traded for a $2 billion market cap company. There would be more volume, notional turnover traded in Monex than there would be in Toyota or SoftBank or companies like that, that were 100x the market cap of Monex, but Monex shares would still have much more daily trading activity turnover. So clearly a proxy. So anyway, why is Monex Group absolutely on fire like this over the last 2 days? Basically back to back, limit up, 40% in the last 2 days alone. Why is this happening? Monex and Galaxy Digital, Novogratz' firm, they announced basically a SPAC. They're going to essentially list TradeStation, which is, again, owned by Monex Group, to trade on the New York Stock Exchange in sometime in 2022. And hooray for the shareholders of Monex Group. Stock is absolutely on fire. Good for them. This is what's interesting, however. So when you hit limit up in Japan, you have to halt trading, for a few minutes, and then you are unhalted, and then if you hit limit up again, then you're basically done for the day for trading. So that's what happened on Friday. It opened at 9:12. Okay, so cash equity opens at 9. On Friday it opened at 9:12, and then you can see this how it flattens out. So this basically lasted till 9:57, and then it was done for the day. So it traded for less than an hour. It hit limit up. It basically topped out, and then that was it. Then today, this was the residual of it, and you can tell this is definitely short covering. This is desperation to get out at any price. First print came in at 9:15 a.m. Not 9 a.m. when cash equity open is. 9:15 a.m. because there's so much volume to match off buys and sells in the auction, in the pre-market auction, and the matching engines and all that kind of thing. Then, but by 10 o'clock, they already hit limit up again. It flattens out, and this one at least lasts until 11:30. That's it for the day, and it's just capped like this. So this is what Monex Group price action looks like. So who the hell cares? This is why it matters. Did Bitcoin rally at a little bit after 7 p.m. Eastern on a Sunday evening in the US? Or did Bitcoin rally at Monday morning around cash equity open in Asia? It's becoming more institutional. When's the activity happening? On a Sunday evening? Or is it happening first thing Monday morning? It's a rhetorical question. These are Japan cash equity hours. It does seem like Bitcoin started to rally at Japan cash open, right? But if you actually look really carefully, it wasn't really at 9 a.m. cash open. It was shortly after 9 a.m. cash open that Bitcoin started to rally on volume. Furthermore, this rally is pretty significant. This is 4 or 5%, right? On volume. And then it suddenly hits this brick wall, and it doesn't do anything until after cash close. But it's basically flatlines. That is very weird for it to suddenly, on volume, move, then suddenly hit a cement wall and just flatline. It's very, very weird price action. And I bring you to this again. 9:15 a.m. is when this opened. Monex Group. And 9:15 a.m. is when you start to see the rally. Then you see it flatline and at limit up and basically close that way, and you see it hit this brick wall, flatline and until close, and then it goes off and does its own thing. Now, if you like to disagree, I guess would be a way to say it. If you want to basically say like that Monex Group and Bitcoin Spot have nothing to do with each other, that's fine, I suppose. And I'm not even really saying that definitively that this is repeating itself, that, you know, the Bitcoin and Monex Group relationship is like re-emerging. It clearly looks like it is, but I have to do much more of that analysis into it and what the implications are. However, I will say just two facts, okay? Just plain facts. One is that Monex Group took 15 minutes to open after cash opened today, and after doing so, it hit limit up and flatlined in price. That is a fact. Here's another fact, okay? Completely separate fact. Bitcoin Spot rallied shortly after market open at around 9:15 a.m. Japan time, and it also hit a brick wall at the same exact time and flattened out. But those things did happen in tandem. Now, another thing. There is no fundamental reason for Bitcoin Spot to move on news of Monex listing its TradeStation unit. I don't care if it's with Galaxy Digital. It really has nothing to do with anything. Furthermore, the way that Monex has been trading, it's very, very, like, you know, highly unusual trading, because it keeps on hitting limit up, and it trades from 14 a.m. till 9:57 a.m. and then it's done for the day and it flatlines. Okay, like very peculiar, idiosyncratic to that scenario and that particular security, and the bids and offers that are coming into the exchange and all of that kind of thing, and the specific JPX, the Japan exchange, like trading halt rules and all of that kind of stuff that is making Monex behave very strangely and atypically for any stock. For Bitcoin to mirror that shows that this is not some other broader market sort of thing. It shows that it is locked into Monex and what Monex shares are doing. Doesn't matter. It's not a fundamental thing. It's not a broader market thing. It's very specifically this stock, this security, and it's being put on display. This is why I'm flagging this, because there would be so many other ways to poke holes into this, legitimately or not. But I mean, there are really idiosyncratic things that are happening in the price action of Monex shares that Bitcoin is mimicking, and it's had a history of this before. One would think that, logically, a Bitcoin ETF, even if it is futures backed, is going to directly compete against a Bitcoin proxy. And so the impact of that existence, if there is an impact, I still need to find out. So that's why I can't definitively say anything right now. What I can say is that these observations are worth flagging. Because last time we did quite well. This time to a wider audience. And it may end up being nothing, but it currently, for at least the last 2 days, has been something. So I will come back with more, should there be more. But anyone who is on the Real Vision Exchange, or anyone who's a Real Vision member, just get on the Real Vision Exchange, just look through my previous stuff. There's a ton of, I've written so much stuff, but read the comments of the community. That's where like the ideas really start to formulate and all that. So yeah, that's it. All right, thanks.